Hi and welcome to NewSpike. Today we actually start with a very somber story. Monty Oum, one of the key animators of later seasons of Red vs. Blue and creator behind Ruby and many other pieces of cool animation work, passed away last week, sadly after a complication in hospital. It's a really sad story, so I can't really explain exactly how I feel about it, just the fact that Monty Oum was somebody I kind of like watched online years ago, before kind of like meteoric rise kind of thing, and it was really cool to see his work. So it's a really sad day to hear that he's passed away. Thoughts and feelings out to his family, and if you really haven't ever heard of Monty Oum, I highly recommend you check out his past work. There'll be some links below in the bit underneath the video, but if you really want to check it out, you should check out Ruby, his created work. You can check it out in Crunchyroll, or there is online other methods of finding it.
And none of us know what it is, but it's coming.
Have a little faith. You'll know what you need when you need to know it.
Our second semester is going to be great, but classes start back up tomorrow, which is why I've taken the time to schedule a series of wonderful events for us today. This ought to be good.
They're supposed to be the defenders of the world.
And they will be, but right now they're still children. So why not let them play the part? It isn't a role they'll have forever.
Our manga recommendation for this week is in fact Fuka. It's a 49 chapter series that's actually currently running on Crunchyroll, being printed and published and translated. Highly recommended. It's actually a story about a young man who's obsessed with social media and has no real kind of social ability whatsoever. Runs into this very extremely outgoing girl who turns his life upside down and leads him into joining a band. I'm not going to spoil any more than that. You really should check it out. It's a pretty entertaining story. Here in NewSpike we want to try new content, new formats. Thought we'd actually give a try to cross-platform, I suppose, is the best way to say it. Two particular types of views and viewpoints. So we're going to actually do some guest videos here on the station. Every once in a while we'll have somebody come in and talk about their particular topic. In this case we have Una, who's actually recorded us 4 bits about celebrity gossip and the basic news and her thoughts and feelings on it.
Hello, my name's Una. Speaking to you here from sunny, well not really, sunny Belfast, and I'm going to give you an update every couple of weeks on popular culture. So of course what everyone's talking about is that next week 50 Shades of Grey, the movie, opens in Belfast. Now if you're interested in a bit of mainstream porn, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm sure thousands of people rush to see the movie, but you may or may not know this, but Jimmy Dornan is a local boy, and in real life he actually sounds like me. Well, not quite like me because I'm common and he's posh, but he went to school just kind of up the street from me, so I'm just wondering whether throughout the duration of the film if he'll be able to pull off the accent, an American accent the whole way through, or will he occasionally slip into the vernacular, as it were? Anyway, Dermot will be reviewing the film. I won't. But yeah, we'll wait and see if Jamie can actually pull it off or otherwise. Okay, so yet again, One Direction are about to embark on another world tour. Now, I'm sure if you're a young guy looking at this band, you're probably thinking, wow, it'd be so amazing to be in a band that's so popular. But there are downsides. For example, you live your life in hotel rooms, and it doesn't matter how plush and gorgeous a hotel room might be, it's still temporary. You don't live there. It's not your home. It's where you sleep. Now, it's very obvious to me that Harry Styles will go on to superstardom, particularly in movies. It doesn't matter whether he can act or not. I mean, that's irrelevant. But he will be an incredible star for years to come. But my biggest concern really is for Zayn Malik. Now, I seen a photograph of this child in the summer of 2013, and he was so thin, it was painful to look at. I mean, just painful. So if I was his mother, I would say to Simon Cowell, his posh lawyers, his contracts, his business, his profit, I would just say, I don't care about any of those things, Mr. Cowell. I'm taking my son home right now. I'm taking him home, because if you are in a hotel room and there are hordes of screaming girls outside, can you imagine the claustrophobia? Can you imagine not being able to walk down the street? As I say, Harry is loving it. He loves every second of it. Zayn, on the other hand, is clearly ill. The kid is unwell. He needs, without your health you have nothing. And what would Kyle prefer? Working this child into the ground, or taking care of him as he purports to do? Zayn, go home, go home. You've made enough money. You don't need any more. Please, please, my darling, go home. Right, the other thing that seems to be a talking point at the moment is Mel B's marriage to Stephen Belafonte. Now, there's a couple of things I'd like to raise about this relationship. Firstly, one has to remember where Mel was in her life when she met Stephen. She'd only just given birth to Eddie Murphy's child, and Eddie made it plain from the get-go that he had zero interest in her or Angel. In fact, I believe he even insisted on a DNA test. And it was at this juncture that Mel met Stephen, and he must have seemed like someone who just came along to rescue the whole situation. He told her he would love and care for her and the children for the rest of her life. And if you think about it like that, it's hardly surprising that within months they rushed off to Vegas and got married. Also, I believe her mum and her sister should really stay out of it, because it's between Mel and Stephen, and no one knows what goes on within the confines of a relationship apart from the people who are in that relationship. Now, people have described Stephen as controlling, but some people, let's be honest, want to be controlled. If you wake up in the morning and you know that you have a million decisions to make, sometimes it is quite tempting to take those decisions and simply hand them to someone else and say, I cannot deal, I have 3 children to use, I can employ nannies till I'm blue in the face, but at the end of the day, I am their mum. She works very, very hard as well. But being controlled is her choice. She's not a child, she's in her late 30s. She must know exactly what she wants, and at the moment, that is Stephen. And I think the world and the press should let them both be, to get on with and work out the issues that may or may not be in place. Leave her alone. Let her get on with her marriage and work it out in a way that makes her and the children happy. Simple. So let's be honest, no review of popular culture can go without a mention of the Kardashians. Now, credit where it's due, these women have made an extraordinary amount of money. The thing I have the problem with is Kim Kardashian's teeny tiny waist and then massive ass. It's not just cartoonish, it's preposterous, which is fine for them. The thing I have a problem with is the fact that so many young girls are stressing themselves out to get the surgery to require the same look. Girls, please don't. If you're young and you're watching this and you think you have to have a massive ass to be successful, attractive or sexy, trust me, you don't. And I'm 51 years old. I know you don't. But the one last thing I want to mention in terms of the Kardashians is their insistence on wearing fur. Now, this is not political at all. It's emotional for me. I believe fur belongs on the animals. And fake fur is so good nowadays that no one can tell if you're wearing fake or wearing real. So girls, please stop draping yourself in dead animals. I don't want that to become something which is popular. There's no need for it. And if you want to be vaguely respected, please stop wearing fur. So anyway, that's my review of popular culture. I hope you tune in for the next installment, and peace and love y'all.
And cut.